Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Libertalia. I showed you in the first video how to get through every day and every campaign. This video is about what do the treasures mean, what do some of the skills do. So let's run through the treasures really quickly. Each time you come up to one of these squares, you get a choice of one of these treasures. This guy here is worth 5 doubloons at the end of the campaign. This guy here is worth 3, and this guy here is worth 1. Now, that's the basic treasures, but there are also some other little possible treasures on the bench. The first one is this one. This is a cursed mask. You don't want this guy. He will cost you 3 doubloons for every one of these guys that's in your den at the end of the campaign. So you want to get rid of them if you have to pick them up. This one here is the saber. As soon as you pick this up as your treasure, you're going to kill one of the characters in the den, so that's this area here, of one of the players on your left or your right. You can't go after the guy who's opposite you. You need to be within striking distance. So you basically just kill that particular character and they go straight to their graveyard. The next one we have is this, the Spanish officer. What the Spanish officer does is when you take him, whichever card you use to take him, so for example, if this was the card that was sitting up there, this is the last one because he's the lowest rank, this is the last one, you have to take that. The Parrot is now dead and he goes into your den. Notice this is the graveyard. I was talking about that in video 1. This is the graveyard. Here, or that's what it's referred to anyway. So whenever a character is killed, that's what happens to them at the end of the campaign. All cards come away anyway. The other symbol that is up here, it's a treasure map. The treasure map by itself is worth nothing. But if you can get a set of 3 of these guys, that at the end of the campaign is worth 12 doubloons. Okay, that's all of the treasures or potential treasures you'll get down here. Now let's have a look through the skills. I've pulled out skills that will give you an idea of how the game plays. Some of them have a little bit of a shaky wording on them, and I'll describe them as well. So going from lowest rank, we'll start with the Parrot. So it's the day skill. I'll go through the day skills first, then I'll go into other ones. Discard this card. Immediately play another character from your hand and set it in the space that corresponds to its rank. So the Parrot, because he is of rank 1, he will have been here. He's the first thing that happens. Basically what happens is you get rid of him and take any other card from your hand and put it into the deck. So maybe the other players had numbers 10 and 12. Number 14 would now go straight to the top rank with 10 and 12 moving down to those 2 ranks, and you'll get to do number 14's skill as well. While I'm on number 14, his skill, discard the character with the highest rank on this ship. So he's not the one you want to play if he's going to be the highest rank. If you can have him up against, say, a high 20s, like a captain, that's probably the best way to go, because what that does is he's going to stop the highest ranking officer from being able to use their skill when it comes down to it. The bosun, gain 2 doubloons for each character in your den with a lower rank than the bosun. So let's actually put him there because he didn't die. So at the moment, we have 1 character in the den with a rank lower than the bosun. So when we get to his turn, I would gain 2 more doubloons. The surgeon. Take one of your discarded characters back into your hand. Don't show it to the other players. Discarded characters means this deck just here. So I would take this card because he's the only one in the discarded characters, and I'd bring him back into my hand. Okay, a few more day skills that are a little bit of a combination. So some of them have 2 icons. This is the day and the end of the campaign icon. So in the day, lose half of your doubloons, which at the moment is 5. Now in this game we round down, so I would lose 2 of my doubloons, and then the carpenter goes into the den. If the carpenter is still in my den at the end of the campaign, I'm going to gain 10 doubloons. So he's really good to play if I don't have many doubloons here to start with, because I'm going to get a whole bunch at the end of the campaign. One more similar card. This time you gain 3 doubloons, but if he's still in your den at the end, you're going to lose 3 for each cursed relic. So I've got a cursed relic here, so I would lose an extra 3. So that cursed relic and this card in combination would actually cost me 6 doubloons at the end if he's still in my den. But I can gain 3 now. So if you use him, you want to actually find a way to get rid of him from your den. This is the Dusk skill, so this is take an extra booty tile. So if you've got him up in the ship, when you're choosing your treasure, you actually get to take 2 treasures when you've got him up there. Now for some night skills. Night skills only work from down here, but you get to use them every night phase. So this one here, you can discard a treasure map to gain 3 doubloons. So if I have her down there and I've got a treasure map, I've got 3 at the moment, so it's not worth me doing it, but if I was only actually able to get 2 because someone got the other one that I was looking for, each turn now I can remove a treasure map to get 3 more doubloons. And the next day I can do that again because I've got another treasure map there. This one, gain 1 doubloon for each character in your den with a higher rank than the freed slave. Now the freed slave is rank number 12. In my den at the moment, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters with a higher rank than the free slave. So I would gain 6 more doubloons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Simply by having my free slave in the den. Now, at the end of the next day, once we've taken our booty tiles again, I can gain those 6 again. So he's worthwhile getting in there. Obviously you won't get 6 every time because you only start with 1 person in the den. Next one, gain 1 doubloon for each of your sabers. So that's talking about these guys. For every one of these guys that you've got in your den, when you play him, you would gain 1 doubloon. No one else knows what booty is in your den unless they've been tracking you. That's actually what your booty looks like when you put it down. So you'd need to go through and actually go, I've got 1 saber there, to be able to gain your doubloon for that. Gain 2 doubloons if you're the only player with Granny Water in your den. Otherwise, discard all copies of Granny Water from all dens. So if you can get this out and no one else has her out there in your den, you'll get 2 doubloons. If next day no one plays Granny Water, you're going to get another 2 doubloons. And finally, I'll move on to the end of campaign skills. This one here, you're going to gain 6 doubloons if you're the only one to have the Governor's Daughter in your den. Otherwise, you're going to pay 3 doubloons. So, she's worth having in your den unless one of the other players plays it. And you're going to gain 1 doubloon for each character in your den. At this moment, this couldn't happen in an actual game. That includes this card, by the way. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11, 12. That would make 13 characters in my den. That's not possible because there's only 6 days, so there's only going to be 6 characters that go into your den. But that did include this one, so you gain the doubloons for having those characters in there. I hope that has broken down the meanings of some of those cards. I hope it's clarified a few questions you might have. I've answered a few of the questions that I had to go back and really read the rulebook to try and work out. Most importantly is the idea of discard cards, sometimes called the graveyard, sometimes called discard. What's your den? It's this area here. This area here is also known as your den, by the way, for where your treasures are sitting. And when it's talking about other characters or other players and their dens, you go into the same area of their play deck. I hope that this has been a helpful look through the rules of Libertalia. If you have any further games that you want Gamesplaned, please email me at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at thegamesplainer. Please share this video and comment below if you have any thoughts or anything that I've missed. Until next time, enjoy gaming.